Hello, and welcome to CivilNet. Today we're going to be having a Skype call with Sassoon Kosian, one of the many Armenians in New York who are organizing a rally this Sunday, August 20th, and who are advocating for justice for the 120,000 Armenians in Artsakh who are being subjected to a now 8-month-long illegal blockade by Azerbaijan. Sassoon, thank you for joining me today.
Hello, and thank you for having me.
Let's start with the upcoming protests on August 20th. What is the driving force behind these demonstrations, and where will they be taking place?
So this demonstration has been maturing over the last several weeks or even months as the uncertainty and the critical situation became worse and worse. In Artsakh, the Armenian people, started really worrying about our Artsakh brothers and sisters, and then we heard that the Armenian government is likely to apply to the UN Security Council, and we thought this is a good opportunity for us to organize a large protest in front of the UN headquarters in New York City. So, and it just happened so that what we planned for August 20, it just happens to be the right timing, because as you know, August 16th, which is today, in the afternoon New York time, the UN Security Council is going to review Armenia's application. So that process is starting, and we think, nobody knows for sure, but we think that within a week or two, probably there will be a decision of some kind. We're hoping a resolution in our favor. So what can Armenian people do in the US? We thought the right thing to do is to go and protest in front of the UN, and we are also planning to do brief stops in front of several UN missions in New York City of the countries that are members of the Security Council. So this is another way of making us heard.
Okay. And you mentioned that there's going to be an emergency session that's being organized by the UN Security Council later today. How will today's meeting affect your plans for protest? What if a resolution is actually decided on sooner?
Well, if it's decided on sooner, then depending on what that decision is, we will plan our steps accordingly. If we like the decision, we will just thank them. If we don't like it, if it's not in our favor, then we will continue with our protests.
And the blockade has been ongoing for 8 months, almost 8 months now. Why do you think that communities are just now responding publicly?
So it's a very good question, and we have been trying to understand that. There is, because there was always uncertainty, when is it going to open? Is it going to open or not? So people just didn't know what's going to happen. At the same time, people didn't know how they can help from here. So in the past, like during the war, there were protests across the United States, including New York City, Washington, D.C., LA, of course. In all major Armenian communities, there were very large protests, and that didn't help at all. With our war efforts, the world did not pay attention. In many cases, they thought that these people, who they didn't even know that they were Armenian, they're celebrating something. So, so that left some negative impression on Armenians of our power doing protests. So that apathy is still felt, but I mean, we can't live with that. We have to keep trying. So war is different. Now this is a different situation. Now we have the UN and we are very close to the UN. So, and protests are very valid, very legal, civil methods to respond to such events.
Yeah. And why did the organizing team choose to protest in front of the UN versus, let's say, taking actions with lobbyists in Washington, for example, or other routes of making our voices heard, basically? Why specifically with the UN?
Because right now it's the UN that we are relying on to do something that helps Artsakh. Of course, there is a lot of diplomacy happening. We are not diplomats. I wish we were. We would do the diplomatic work too, but we are citizens, we are concerned Armenians, and we know people like us. We have networks here. That's our strength. We can organize within our capabilities, of course. And if we wish that some organizations, like traditional organizations, stepped up and organized this, then we would just attend and join them. But nobody did anything. So we took the initiative in our hands as individuals. We are not political. We are not representing any organizations. We are just individuals.
Right. And from what I understood, the participation for the upcoming Rally for Life is quite widespread. There are Armenians that are coming from all over North America, from what I understood. Considering the complexities of this situation, how do you see this movement evolving in the future? And what steps will you follow in the aftermath?
So I hope that this will not evolve in the future. Why? Because I hope that our problems will be solved with Artsakh. The corridor will open. But if that doesn't happen, then we have to be patient and we have to be persistent. So I think if we, the organizers, have these qualities, we can perhaps bring the same qualities in the others, and they will not give up so easily, and we will continue thinking about what else we can do, how else we can influence these countries, perhaps politicians, congressmen. So there will be other opportunities. The main thing is to organize and know what to do, how to approach, how to leverage.
Right. And if somebody in the diaspora is interested in joining and learning more about how to join in these efforts, where can they go? Who can they speak to?
They can, so there's a Facebook event page. The organizers are listed there. So somebody can very easily contact us. And as far as the protest, just show up at 12 p.m. on Sunday, August 20th, in front of the UN. So we'll be there for a couple of hours, and then we will walk around to the other diplomatic missions.
Well, we'll be following closely to see how the events unfold. Thank you for speaking with us today, Sassoon.
Thank you so much.
And for our viewers at home, as always, thank you for watching CivilNet.